Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the Rod Shop. Today, we're going to continue working on Derek's first ever rod build.
Good morning. Good morning.
Y'all stick around. Okay, when we left off, we had finished the handle assembly, and you've already got it splined when you did the handle, so we don't need this tape anymore. We're done with that. Now, until I break it, today we're going to do guide alignment and static load testing. So first thing you need to do is we're going to cheat.
Yeah.
Because taping these guides on, which you can, but it makes them hard to move.
Right.
So what we're going to do is we're going to put some of these micro rubber bands that I got from Mudhole. They're CRB. We've already determined there's like 13 on a side.
Yeah.
Because you counted them one day.
Dude.
So
well, the old rod we had too, or the last time we used to have ridges on it.
It was an NFC blank. Now this is the MHX Elite blank, and it's got a really beautiful titanium finish on it. I don't know if it looks painted. I don't know if it is or not, but you know what to do. We're gonna put about 12 on here. And I'm going to slide this camera down so you can see what he's doing. I do have a plan for a better camera setup, but it's on the list of 1,000 things that I need to do. The most important one, and why you haven't seen me lately, is one, it was hot, and two, the AC quit. So that's why it's not pretty and trimmed like it used to be, because I got it back in and waterproofed, and I'll trim it out later, but at least it's cool in a rod shop, and I got the AC in and it cooled off outside. So
that's right.
It's actually cooler in the garage than it is in here now. That's why it's so nice and quiet, because there's no AC running. And those things are going on a lot easier, it looks like.
That is a fact. Yeah, with those ridges, we were really having to fight with it.
So what Derek is doing is he's sliding the bands down, kind of close to where we think they need to be. And then once he gets enough bands on, we're going to get a tape measure out. And we're going to do what is what I call the 3-4-5 method. It's a medium heavy blank. So most of your action is going to be, it's a medium heavy fast. So it's a pretty stiff blank. And then the action is going to take place in the top third. So any 843 series of blank, and it's a pretty standard number that most manufacturers use. It's their medium heavy fast. So we're going to have about 4 or maybe 5 guides in the top third. And then the rest of that blank's not going to move much. So as Derek gets his guides on, or his guide rubber bands on, where we at? You getting close?
Yeah, that's 10. You said you want 12 on here?
I think we'll start with 12. We may not use them all, but at least they'll be on there, because it's much easier to
have them and not need them.
Have them and yeah, exactly. Because the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put the tip top on.
11. You said 11, 12.
Yeah, 12. We're probably only going to put 10 guides on. Should be enough. And our guides are these Alps kit I got from Voodoo. And these are black stainless. I think they're silicone nitride. And I never can get the top open. I think you just squeeze it and it pops like that. So let's get it back up in a power wrapper. We're going to need that. We'll be looking for that here in a minute. And what I would do is just pull a few of them, like the last 3, go ahead and tighten them down.
The last 3?
Yep, so you loosen the bottom and then push it down, and then you don't have to be bound. Go ahead and let it touch.
Okay.
Just let it sit right on top of the blank.
Yep.
There you go, a little pressure. And that'll just keep it from popping out. And then what we'll do, so everybody can see what we're doing, I'm going to slide that camera down even a little further, because we're going to put this tip top on. I got a rolling carriage design, so I'm not going to do this, but that is still in the design phase.
In the design phase.
It is in the design phase still. So, all right, so we'll slide this puppy down, get in camera here, and see what you're doing. You're gonna need the glue.
Yep.
And you're gonna need a lighter.
One
Yep,
torch
that
oil.
won't work. The lighter works better. You don't want to torch it because that'll get too hot too quick.
Right.
And you don't want it on your hands because it's painfully sticky. All right, so we got a tip top. So the first thing you want to do is, like, I've got it in dryer mode. I'm gonna put it in the wrap, on the wrap pulley, because that'll hold it and allow you to turn it still. So what I've done is I've dialed the trigger straight up.
Mm-hmm.
So that way when we put the tip top on, we put the tip top straight up.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be in a line because you're going to do a spiral wrap on this.
Okay.
So the first thing you want to do,
Double check, make sure we put the right one.
Yeah, let's make sure we are playing with the right one this time. That was fun the last time we did that. Now, what I typically do is I will heat it up, put a pretty good amount of glue on here. Let's get this block down a little tighter so it doesn't move on you. That's the only one you gotta lock down, really.
Okay.
Okay, I'll throw some more light on there for you so you can see what you're doing. Now, what you're going to do is then you're going to just kind of smear it on the end.
Okay.
All the way around it. You got to do it quick. Don't be scared to put it on. We'll peel it back off. All right, go ahead and heat it up again. Okay. Yeah, that string will come off when you put the flame to it, and just slightly heat that just on the tip. And the most heat is not in the flame, it's just above the flame. All right, now I'll smear some more. And then you're going to take it and you're going to scoop some of that extra off.
Okay.
Where it switch up.
Yep.
Scoop a little extra off.
With this?
Yep. Right into the hole. All right, now stand up and look down and see
what it looks like.
Yeah, see these guides are these arms are on the even side. Pretty good.
Yeah, I think so.
Flame and sugar. Now what I do is I just take my thumb.
Okay.
Because it's cooled off enough, it's not sticky, but it's not hard yet.
You should just be able to peel it right off.
And peel all of that extra right off. If you wait, it becomes a pain.
I am way better at this than I am with epoxy.
Not a hard thing to do. But anyway, so that is
small W's.
So yep.
And that's basically all we need to do.
It's a heat sensitive glue. As soon as it's cooled off where you can touch it,
it'll. Yeah.
Now we'll put some epoxy on it when we'll put some thread finish on it when we're done.
Okay.
Just to help seal it in a little better.
Okay.
All right, so get your, let's chuck it, let's take it back out of the power wrapper.
Okay.
And we'll get it down here on the mat. And then we'll get the tape measure out. We'll preliminarily move these guide bands. All right, let me get it out. All right, so let's just lay it, I like to lay it even with the end.
Okay.
And then grab that tape measure right there in Milwaukee.
Yep.
And then hook it on the end of the mat. And we're going to run it out here and just lock it down. All right, make sure your tip top is even with the end of the mat. You can lay it on the side, it's fine.
Okay. Yep.
Now, what I'll do is I'll take this little peg here and I'll take it to the rounded side and I'll use it to slide these guides down.
Okay.
So you want one at 3 inches. Your first one is, we're going to start at the tip.
Okay, 3 inches.
The first one is at 3 inches. And then what I like to do is what I call 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
So the next one will be 4 inches from there. So that'll be 7.
Yep.
5 from that is 12.
Yep.
6 from that's 18.
Okay.
7 from that's 25.
What do you sit down? No.
You can leave an extra one in there because that's where we're going to need the extra, so you can skip one. So
Okay.
leave that one just so you got.
Save this one.
And then go to 25 with that one.
Yep.
Okay. You good? All right, so now what I'll do, don't move the rod. I'll flip this around because your stripper guide needs to be about 22 inches from the reel seat.
Okay.
So I'll come to the front of the reel seat. And the front of the seat's going to be very close to the front of your reel.
Okay.
So let's go 22, and you almost hit it. So let's move that one down to 22.
You said just...
Yeah, you might just have to pull that and slide it. Oops. Just got to get it close. That's close enough for now. And then I'll just evenly space what's in between. So I'll pull some of these down. Pull
Okay.
this one on down a little bit more. Okay, now I put it back in a power wrapper to hold it. And just make sure that the stands aren't where my bands are. So I'll put it back in, we'll roll it to the top. And if you just need to slide, let me slide this down a little bit. If you need to slide the stands over so it's not sitting on top of the band like this one, you just loosen these up just a little bit.
Okay.
Pick your rod up, and then you can slide it one way or the other in that track.
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
So that way it's not sitting on your band. You got room to work.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
if you got it held down on a couple of them, go ahead and tighten these down a little bit
Okay.
just to hang on to it. Makes it easier to get these guides underneath.
You're not fighting with it.
Yep.
Smarter, not harder, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, well, done this a couple times.
Really? If not, if you need help, I know a guy.
Done a couple times. Okay. So you're going to need the little pliers with the tape on them.
Okay.
This is just a piece of crap, probably Harbor Freight 15 years ago, spring loaded.
And what are these for?
You're going to hold the guide
Uh-huh.
and get it tucked underneath the band.
Okay, and that's what these are for, to not mess up the...
So you don't want to scratch the insert, the ceramic.
Gotcha.
Okay, so we're going to use this pick instead of that one because this is a super fine point, so don't stick yourself with it. That's like needle point. Put that back where it belongs. I'll pop these open again and figure out what we got. And we should have a number 8 for a stripper, double foot. And I'll just lay it on the track here where I think it's going to be. All right.
And what's that called?
That's the stripper guide. That's your first guide. It's double-footed guide. So you got 2 feet that are going to hold it down. You're going to actually wrap both sides of this guide.
Okay.
And this largest guide, the first one coming from your reel, is going to be the stripper guide.
Okay.
Okay. And then we should have a number 6.
And that's a stripper
It's
guide
also
as well?
a double-footed, but this is going to the only one that's a stripper guide is your first one.
Okay.
And then you have 1 or 2 transition guides, and that's how we're going to get
The roll?
Yeah, so if it was a straight up wrap, conventional wrap, this would still be a transition guide. It's still a stripper guide because what you're doing is you're transitioning from the large opening to your running guides.
Right.
Okay. So we're going to put the transition guide. Now this, for the spiral wrap, is actually going to be 90 degrees over.
Okay.
So we can get around to the bottom.
Okay.
Right? So then you should have, you got a hook keeper, which will go down here. And then you have running guides. And you should have 8 running guides. So you want to start placing these on the tape markers. There's a mark, but where your rubber bands are.
Right.
I put them up on the tape so you can see them because they just up here on a black mat. A couple more. And what we'll do is just get all these on. And I'll show you how to do one of these difficult ones down here. So I'll show you one under the camera, and then you can do the rest of them. So here's the trick to getting these on. Let me see that little pair of pliers. So I'm going to do this one right underneath the camera. So what I'll do, we're up. So I'm just going to hold the rubber band, I have ground this actually flat on this side.
Okay.
So you can lay it on the blank, and then you're just going to push the rubber band up on top of it. And it'll hang.
Okay.
And then you take your guide, and your little needle nose pliers. And you're going to grab it. You're going to grab it by the insert. And then you're going to slide it up underneath. And that's all you need to do for right now. And
Easy money.
Yep. So Start here.
Okay.
Work your way down.
Temple.
Well, since you're gonna stand, shoot. Come on, baby.
It ain't one thing fighting you, it's something else, ain't it?
Well, I got a lot of weight on this table I gotta get off. There you go. A little easier to see what you're doing now.
Thank you.
Not quite as humpback. There you go.
Like a glove.
So I wait. I
Do this
what,
first.
Yeah, so it hangs.
Yep.
I'll grab a bottle of water. You want one?
Yes, sir. Please.
Wow. Does not want to get up on there.
She's just not liking it.
Now it really will stab you.
But it'll get up there.
Sometimes you gotta sharpen your knife.
You quit letting your neighbor over here and mess with your tools and mess them all up.
Exactly, that's the thing. Keep people out of my rod shop. Alright, so we need to do this one.
Okay.
And you're just gonna, this is the same, and then we'll just put the front side under.
Now, do you need to have two for these ones?
It's
or
actually
no?
very difficult to do it that way.
Okay.
What I'll do is I'll put the, first thing I wanna look at is, do these need to be ground? They're pretty thin, they're already pre-ground, they're sharp. Some of them you get won't be sharp like that.
Okay.
So that's what I use the fingernail polish for, to
Okay.
sharpen the tips.
So it gets under there
Well,
better?
when you thread,
Oh,
you're putting
okay.
your thread on. So,
Right.
so what I'll do is we'll put the rubber band under the front foot,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll use a little piece of 1/8 inch tape on the back.
Okay. And
Just
this
to hold-
is the
That's
front.
the back.
No, that's the back.
I guess it could go either way,
Okay.
but that's got a little bit of a lean
Mhm.
this way. I mean, I've done it both ways,
Okay.
so I don't really think it matters.
Okay.
But yeah, it'll sit like that.
Okay.
All right, so go ahead and get your pick up underneath that one.
It's too hard.
Well, we know when you need to practice one. All right, let me do one. Let's get this thing done. I can make you tape them on. Jesus. I don't know if it's because the blanket's so slick I can't get the pick to stay still.
Well, I know when we did it on the grip one, I felt like the groove, or I say grip, but the grooved one you were able to kind of get in there and use the groove to keep it almost
You talking
pop
about
over it.
that one?
I think so. Weren't you using?
I've used a couple different ones. Where did that one go?
That one there.
Yeah, because that one I also ground flat. I think it's a slick blank.
It makes it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, it doesn't want to come up off the blank because it's hugging down tight. It is being very difficult. All right,
Can
baby.
we just stick the foot in? Roll it up on?
What's that?
So do you think you might just be able to roll the foot up on there?
Nope. All right.
And you said this one goes on
The single one?
the single one? No.
So through the magic of YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
we fast forwarded through a lot of that struggle. 'Cause
Right,
it was a
right.
struggle. We're
Yeah.
having all kinds of
Struggle
problems. This
was.
slick blank is difficult to work with. Apparently, I dropped my pick and blunted the end. I didn't realize it and had to sharpen it back up again. But they're just, so we've got them all kind of in place. We don't really know for sure yet. Derek just asked me a question about, why are we spiraling?
Yeah.
Two things. Well, three. One, it takes the line slap out, so you get better casting distance.
Right.
Okay. Two, let's just look at that tip in front of me. Two, the very tip. If you have the line above, let's just say that this is your fishing rod.
Okay.
Okay, a standard rod has all of the line coming off the top, right?
Yep.
All right, so we're going to say this is attached and to the top, and the weight, what is it trying to do in your hand?
Trying to pull out.
It's trying to roll,
Right.
right? So what it does is it tries to roll out until the connection point is at the bottom, and it doesn't try to roll anymore.
Okay.
This is very strong. It's not going to, you don't have any rotational torque up here.
Mhm.
And that's where the mysterious breaks for the top 6 inches of a rod happens.
Okay.
People blame them on screen doors and ceiling fans and that kind of
Trucks.
stuff. And that does happen. But a lot of it is just that little bit of rotational torque from where you're fishing at the top like this. Just as you're loading it, you're not pulling straight down.
Right.
You're pulling one way or the other
Right.
until it gets to this point.
Right. And just over time, it's
And that
wearing
just-
at your rod.
And then, if you're horsing big fish in and
Mhm.
you're setting the hook hard, ping, snaps
And there
right
it
off.
goes.
That's why we spiral out.
There goes
And
your.
the other reason is it looks cool.
Right. It does
Well,
look cool.
You can now get some manufactured rods that have spiral wraps. There's a couple of them that are doing it, but for up until just a few years ago, the only way you could get a spiral wrapped rod was from a custom rod book.
Oh, really?
So, or if you were a custom rod book.
Gotcha.
So it was kind of it's like everybody that grabs my rods, because all of mine are spiral wrapped, they go, "What's wrong with the guys?"
Mm-hmm.
If they've never seen it, and then they make a cast and go, "Oh,
Oh.
oh." So, all right. So now it's time to get her back out. We'll get the static load testing equipment out. Which is right here. Part of it. Part of it is up here, which I am going to build a new one of these very soon.
We got to build a new one of those. We got to build a new one of those.
Yeah, we got a lot of projects coming. I've been working in the garage on some upgrades to the garage. Derek has been part of it.
I'm trying.
Pick that up a little
Trying to be
bit.
the best gopher I can.
But
Hey, go
there's
for this. Go for that.
been some pretty significant upgrades over there, I would say.
Yeah, that's good.
So there's some woodworking-ish projects coming up that I'm going to bring you along on because they are rod building related. So one is a new static load tester. The other one is I have designed a building stand that actually will double as a hand wrapper.
Yep.
So if you're seeing these videos and you haven't started yet, there'll be an option that I'm going to make them. I think if there's enough interest, I'll build them. But you'll see the prototype, and then y'all can decide if you're interested in buying one or not. I don't know.
Yep. But we'll use them and never know.
I think they're going to work great. So anyway, this is the load testing equipment. This is the bracket, for lack of a better term. This is how I hold it to my table. And then this is going to represent a reel,
Real.
a low profile reel. And all it is 50-pound yellow braid that is taped to a guide alignment tool that I bought from Mudhole. But I taped it at the height of most low profile reels where the paw comes out, and you've got about a size 6 guide in there where the line comes out. So what you're going to do is you're going to put that in, just like it is a reel. And then you're going to string. What I normally do is I'll roll it to the side so it's easier to access.
Right.
And you have to roll it a couple times.
No worries.
And And I'll go ahead and strap this puppy down to the table. And then we want to roll again. There we go. While he's doing that, there's one other piece. If you're doing this by yourself, if you have a hand, somebody to help you, you don't really need this. But I've taken this tiny little F-clamp, and what I did is I ground a groove with my saw right on top there, so that when I wrap the line around it here in a minute, it'll stay and not slip off. I just took a saw and cut one saw blade just to get the line through. So what you'll do, here's how I do this. So well, first of all, we're going to put it in the wrapper. Get it out of the wrapper. I've got some ideas of how we're going to redo this, and I've had some suggestions from you guys, which I'm going to take into consideration because they're really good ideas on how to redo this. So all we want to do is just make sure it's in there stable. Okay, and that's fairly stable. Let's pull that chair out of the way. Now what I would do is you want to make sure, and you want to pull some tension down here. Okay. Now what I do then is I figure out about where my tension is going to be.
Okay.
And I'll just wrap it through the groove.
Yep.
And then back, and then through the groove again. And then I make sure the jaws are wide enough to grab to the table.
Yep.
And
Center on down.
it has to be that tight because you've got friction holding it.
Right.
So now we want to step back here and look at what you got going as far as the bend. Now, let's kill this light. And I'm going to steal this camera. Hopefully it's still recording. It's questionable whether it's still recording. And I'm going to try to show you guys what we're looking at. Maybe. Maybe. Now that one just quit. I'm cute. Maybe I'll get a recording out of it. Need some more wires up there, I think.
Yeah, I only got enough. Maybe a little bit of wire management.
Okay, so hopefully you guys can see the curve in the line. I'm trying to find a better background for you guys. What we're looking for really is just a smooth transition from guide to guide to
I'm
guide.
holding that behind the rod to give
Yeah,
you
that might, so you guys can see it. Now that yellow line disappears in that
that
orange. Yeah, that's okay. You guys get the idea. What we're trying to do is go from, first of all, we're going to take a piece of 1/8" masking tape.
You can hold this or
No, I'm just going to tag this back. Yeah, that's not bad. You can hold that. You can be the cameraman. And I'm just going to stick it to the back foot. And then I'm going to look up top here, and I'm going to make sure that the line is coming down dead center, which means I'm going to roll this guide about 5 degrees opposite the direction we're going to spiral.
okay.
And what that does is it brings the line back to the center. It's not in the center of the guide anymore, but it's coming down the center of the blank, which will affect how it, when you're retrieving, and if it's over to the right, it's going to pile the line up on the right side.
Okay.
If it was over to the left, it would pile the line up on the left side a little bit.
Gotcha. Okay.
Not so bad with the smaller spools and narrow spools, but if you have a wide spool reel, it's bad.
You can
really
definitely
tell.
tell the difference.
You can tell when it's not right.
Gotcha.
So we got that. So now the next thing you're looking for is the transition guide here. Getting a smooth transition around the bottom of the blanket. We need a little bit of tape for the back foot of that guide too. Same things. I'm just going to stick it right underneath. I'm just just gonna grab the back foot. I'm not sticking it down on a blank. And get it positioned, and then tie it down. I don't wrap the ends all the way around because then it's a pain to get it back off.
Mm-hmm.
But you can still grab it and then adjust it if you need to.
Right.
So we got a pretty decent transition here now. You start looking at it from the side. Might show up against the brown a little better. So what we're looking at is angles. So we're going to slide this one back a little bit. This one needs to come forward. So this is good here. All right. You got a little bit of a steep angle change there. It's not too bad.
Right.
We're going to slide this back a little bit because here's where your action is. Your action is from here to here. That's where almost all of the bend in your rod is this top third of the rod.
This piece from about here?
Yeah, from about right there. But you see where it stays pretty tight.
Right,
and then
right.
Down here it stays pretty tight, so there's not a problem. I'm just going to slide this one back a little bit too. So we get smooth, 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 smooth. And then we get a little bit of a jerk there. There. And that is very smooth now. That's how you static load test it out.
Alright.
So now you're ready to wrap.
Okay.
But we got other things to do today. So next time when we come back, Derek will be wrapping. I think we're going to wrap it red metallic. So what we decided?
I believe so.
So
Yes,
I
sir.
think this is your bag. Oh yeah, we're going to do black.
Metallic.
We're going to do black on the guides out here,
Mhm.
and we'll do red metallic accents.
Yep.
And then the only other thing we'll have to put on is your hook keeper, which is laying down here in a tray somewhere. I'm sure it fell down here, but it's a black one. If not, I got a box full of them. They'll show up somewhere in the carpet.
Yeah, it's somewhere in the carpet, exactly.
Typically, it's down there in the carpet. There it is. Oh no, it didn't make the carpet. Always winds up on the floor.
Always.
That's the one downside of having this black mat, although it's got so many more upsides.
Right.
If we were using stainless guides, it really wouldn't matter. But
Right.
having this, is, as far as picking stuff up,
Right.
it's so much easier to pick these little things up. And this is
Mhm.
just that floor mat I got from Harbor Freight.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
It works
I got like
wonders, man.
$10 in it. And I got double-sided
Right.
tape.
Well, and it helps keep the tools from just sliding all over the
And
place.
when I'm wrapping,
Mhm.
and I don't want to, I just,
Stick it in there.
that's probably how it got blocked. Yeah. I did it. It was my fault. So next time, somebody is going to be doing his first wrap.
Yep.
And I'm going to bring the popcorn and the peanuts.
Let's
It's
do
go-
it. Yeah,
it's-
it's going to be fun.
It's going to be a fun one. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Have a great weekend, guys. Bye.
And we're out. Awesome.